bring about a resolution of the conflict. And we emphasised in particular our focus on the shadow fleet and the work that we're doing leading the coalition of the willing. Thank you, Alex. Can I come to Carl, ITV?
Thank you, Prime Minister. Can I push you on that just a little bit? Did you ask the Indian Prime Minister to stop buying Russian oil and stop funding Russia's war machine in Ukraine? And separately, did you raise the issue of British man Jagtar Singh Johal? What did you ask and what was the response?
So on the first question of Russia-Ukraine, we did discuss this and looked particularly at the outcome that we both want. So Prime Minister Modi and myself, the focus on ending this conflict and the various steps that could be taken to end. And that was a wide-ranging discussion, but we did set out the steps that we are taking in relation to energy, particularly on the shadow fleet, and the work of the Coalition of the Willing. On the consular cases, yes, we did raise the consular cases. We always raise them when we have the opportunity to do so. I should say that the Foreign Secretary is meeting the families in coming weeks, as well as raising it today. Thank you. Sam, from Sky.
Sam Coates, Sky News. Prime Minister, it looks like Tony Blair is going to have quite a big role overseeing Gaza. Should we trust his instincts on that? And also, you spoke to the boss of Infosys yesterday about the successful rollout of digital ID in India. What lessons did you take away from that conversation?
Well, just in relation to the situation in the Middle East, the first and most important thing to say is that the deal today is a real breakthrough. That is why it's important that we recognise that and recognise the human impact that is going to have on those that have been most affected. And that's why I've referenced in particular the hostages, their families, and all civilians in Gaza who have been through unimaginable horrors and grief over the last period of this conflict. Now it does need to be implemented. I'm less interested, to be perfectly frank, in discussions about personnel than I am in getting it implemented. The UK has played an important part behind the scenes in relation to these negotiations, working with the US and mediators, and we stand ready to play our part in implementing this, again, with others as we go forward. For me, what matters is the substance of what happens next, and that is what we're totally focused on. In relation to digital ID, we did discuss this yesterday, and in particular the benefits that it has brought in India. We've obviously also looked at other countries, Estonia, for example, and the speed with which it allows citizens here to access services, particularly financial services, is something that was recognised in our discussions yesterday and actually at the FinTech discussion that we had today as well. So we're looking at those examples of how digital ID helps individuals with the processes that sometimes take too long and are too cumbersome and makes them easier for them. Thank you very much. Can I go to Paul at Channel 4?
Good afternoon, Prime Minister. In the first line of your statement this morning, and you've just repeated it now, you called it, quote, President Trump's peace plan for Gaza. So, yes or no, do you now think that President Trump will be a deserved winner of the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, look, it is a very significant step forward, and it would not have happened without President Trump's leadership on this. And I want to be really clear about that, and I say that from the informed position of the UK having played a part behind the scenes in this with the US and with the mediators. What matters now is to press on and implement this. All parties need to implement and agree and take forward the commitments that they have made to the next stage. That is hugely important. We will work with others to ensure that that happens, but my focus now is moving this from the stage it's at now, which is really welcome, strongly welcomed, to ensuring that we now move on to the next stage and make a success of this, because that matters to me more than anything else. Thank you. Catherine, GB.
Catherine Forster, GB News, thank you. Prime Minister, we've all seen thousands of pictures of you, very large, round this city, and people clearly delighted to see you. How does that feel? And also, though you're very popular here, you're really very unpopular at the moment at home. And, you know, digital ID had public support. You announced it. Lots of people now seem to have changed their minds on that. Do you have the reverse Midas touch at home? Pardon me.
Well, look, firstly, just in relation to